Because what you're not going to do is come here and offend me. And when I voice my opinion, it's a problem because now you in your feelings because you cannot take accountability for your actions. What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another episode of Let's Chat. So today's topic is going to be a very interesting one. I think it's a topic a lot of us can relate to. I think a lot of us still struggle with this. Actually, I still struggle in that area. And it's the topic of friendship, and to be more specific, adult friendship. Y'all, why is it so hard to make friends as an adult? And it's even harder to maintain these friendships. I feel like we are doing something wrong. If we are failing to connect with one another, because that is what a friendship is at the end of the day, then we are doing something wrong. So this is a topic I really want to just dive into with y'all. Before I begin, I just want to say I went on Google and did a little research because I just wanted to know, like, in overall, how many people was struggling with this. And according to Google, I saw this article that came out in October 2019. So the article said 45% of adults find it hard to make new friends. And in fact, the average adult hasn't made a new friend in the last 5 years. This was in October 2019. That was pre-pandemic. So you can just imagine how much this number has increased over the last years. And this was just in America. Imagine all over the world. Because I don't think this is just an American thing. This is just an all over the world issue. I just don't understand what went wrong. Why is it so hard? Before I even start talking about adult friendship, I just want to go back to my teenage friendship days, because I feel like the foundation of friendship really starts as a teenager. That is when you really start to value your friendship. You're kind of realizing that it takes work to have a friend, to keep a friend, and that is where all the changes begin. So let's just go back to that stage. Looking at my teenage years, I would say I had a good group of friends, and obviously I had friends in categories because not everyone is going to be a BFF, so that is pretty normal. Every one of us have friends in different categories. I had my best friends, and I had friends that I saw in group settings. I had friends that was more of an acquaintance than a friend, but you know, when you're a teenager, you call everyone your friend because sometimes you just don't want to feel left out, so everyone is your friend. I had two best friends, and we were stuck to each other like glue. I remember we did not everything, but a lot together. We would have sleepovers, just normal things that you do in your teenage years. Looking back at it, I would have to say our communication skills were pretty good because we would sit for hours and talk about our future, marriage, kids, jobs, where we want to travel to, all of those things. That friendship I really did value at the time, and it never crossed my mind that one day it can actually end. If you would have told me during my teenage years that in my adult years we would no longer be friends, that is something I wouldn't have believed. It was never a thought in my mind that I can lose those friends. I really believe that we were going to be friends till the end of time. We were going to be friends. We were going to grow old together. We were going to be grandmas. I was so oblivious to the fact that that friendship could actually end. Yeah, it's just weird. Fast forward to today, we are no longer friends, and that is pretty much okay. I feel like a lot of us hold on to grudges and bitterness and whatever happened in the past and just don't want to move on from that. The reason I went back to my teenage years is because during those times is when you're starting to develop. Your eyes are starting to open, you notice certain things, and that is when you really start setting boundaries. And for some of us, it takes longer than the other, but that is when you figure out what you like or you don't. When the start of you figuring out what you like and don't like, what you will tolerate and not tolerate. I feel like a lot of friendship goes downhill because when people start noticing who they are, the people around them has trouble accepting that. A lot of us don't like change. I feel like a lot of us make it to be so negative when someone is changing. It's not a bad thing. We have to change. That is part of life. I'll be damned if I still the same person I was when I was 20. Like, come on. We have to change. We have to adapt to new situations. You go through life. You go through so much up and downs. And those are the things that are going to form you to become the person who you're supposed to be. So changes are good. Changes are necessary. And where it goes wrong, in my opinion, is when someone cannot accept the fact that you have become a different person. Let me give an example. Say for instance, I was someone, I found everything to be okay. I was a yes man. So it's like every time you ask me something, it's like, oh yes, I'll do it. Oh yes, I'll go with you here. Yes, I'll do this with you. Yes, I'll do that. And now that I'm growing up and I'm getting older and I'm aware of certain things, I realize, hey, I actually don't want to go with you to these places. And I actually don't like when you make certain jokes about me. I actually don't feel offended when you say certain things to me. And if I start voicing my opinion and saying the things that I don't like, now all of a sudden it's gonna be like this shock wave coming through, like, wait a minute, who are you? Since when did you not like me to make jokes about you? Since when did you not like to go places with me? And people have a problem accepting those changes. We just don't like to adapt to new things. We just want our friends, we want the people around us to remain the same because it's comfortable, and we don't like uncomfortableness. We don't like to be told no. We don't like to be called out of our nonsense. So when people in general start realizing their worth and who they are and what they like and don't like, and they start voicing those things, it comes off as a negative thing because I, as your friend, don't want you to become this person because I'm comfortable with where I am with you at this moment. So in my opinion, I would say during your teenage years is when the friend dynamic starts to change. If you look at a very small percentage of people that are friends from kindergarten until they're 80, 90 years old, that percentage is very, very small. And I feel like it's not that they didn't go through struggles and things in their relationship. I think they were both mature enough to accept the other person as who they are and who they are becoming, and give them the space, allow them to be them without always interfering with their growth. And that is why I think friendship lasts, and that is what's missing in today's society. Let me just say this, it's okay for friendships to break up. We don't have to be friends for eternity. Everyone is in your life for a season, for a reason. Seasons change, reasons change, time changes, you change. We all have to go with the flow. We have to keep moving. And sometimes when you move, the friends you had are not going to move with you because they're not on that level, or they're just on a different path. So that is also one of the reasons why friendships end, because you have to go where you are wanted, where you feel that you're going to grow. And it's not a bad thing saying goodbye to the friends that you once knew, because that is life. And especially when you're in your teenage years trying to figure things out, people are going to come in your life. They're going to come and go. That's the way it is. Now, fast forward to the adult years. Now you are more sure of yourself. You're more aware of the things that you will not tolerate. The list, most of the time, is very small. And that is what makes it so difficult, I believe, to make friends these days, because it's like we have this checklist, and if you doesn't check out these things, these criteria on the list, then we cannot be friends. I'm not saying that you have to settle, but you also have to give people a chance and give them grace. And looking at today, we live in a society where everyone is just so focused on themselves, and it's like everything is me, myself, and I. We are so self-centered. We are so selfish, including me. I'm not gonna take myself out of the equation. I'm just as selfish sometimes. But it's like I also crave human connection. And the reality is a lot of us are lonely because of this mentality we have in today's day and age. The amount of videos I see of people complaining about how lonely they are and having friends and still being so alone. It's crazy. And now more than ever, where we just like glued to a screen all day, every day. Let me tell y'all, growing up, I was outside. If you grew up in the 80s, 90s, growing up, we were outside. We were climbing trees. We was making connection with one another. For those of you who grew up in that era, I need y'all to comment below and tell me what y'all was doing when you were growing up, because I was outside, I was riding bike, I was going to friends' house, we were just playing with sticks and stones. You didn't have to give us nothing. We would make something out of everything. Even if it's just a branch, a tree branch, we would make do with that. We would find the time of our lives just by playing with that tree branch. And I watch today's kids and it's like, y'all really missing out on the good stuff. I'm not against being on a screen. I'm not against being on your phone and a tablet and whatever. I'm against us not making human interaction. At the end of the day, all we have is each other. The money you make, the cars you drive, the lavish lifestyle, all of those things are for nothing. Let me tell y'all, like I said in my previous video, I work in a care. So I work at a nursing home, right? And I see a lot of deaths. When you reach the time of your life when there's nothing else, it doesn't matter how much cars you had. It doesn't matter how much money you made. It doesn't matter if you traveled the world, you went to Hawaii, you went to Mexico. It does not matter. You know what they always cry out for? It's either mom, dad, or it's always a name. No one lays at their deathbed and be like, Mexico, the Cayman Islands, America, Europe. No one cares about that stuff. The only thing you care about is connection. You call out for another human. You call out for your mom, your dad, your brother, your sister, somebody. But it's never a place. You don't call out for your Mercedes Benz. Those things are not important. Yes, it's nice to have. I'm not against having nice things. Of course, if you can afford it, go do your thing. But do not be confused and do not let that cloud your judgment and just interfere with you not having that human connection. Because at the end of the day, all we have is each other. Whether you want to believe it or not, all we have is each other. I went a little off topic, but coming back to adult friendship. So like I said, setting boundaries is one of the big reasons why friendship does not work. I would have to say the second thing is comparison and jealousy. There are lions in sheep's clothing out here, especially now with social media. And sometimes you just want to share your success. There's nothing wrong with that. But you guys have to be very careful because people out here just waiting for you to fall flat on your face and just want the worst for you. So be very careful. And I feel like people use the word friends too lightly because there's a lot of us who have friends and the conversation be basic. It's just small talk. It's just, hi, how are you? How's your man? How's your kids? How's your job? And then that's it. There's nothing else to say. But then that's your friend. I don't understand. That's not a friend. That's just someone you know, just an acquaintance. You all talk time to time, but that's not a friend. I feel like we use the word friends way too lightly. And I also feel adult friendship are hard because we don't make time for each other. Of course, everyone has their life. Everyone has to work. Everyone has their family, whether you have a husband or kids or just your immediate family. Everyone has a life. But why are we not making time to see each other? It's always an excuse. Work this, kids that, husband this. I'm sorry. If you wanted to make time, you would have made time because at the end of the day, those things were always going to be there. So it's like, how much do you value me as a person or our friendship for you to want to make time to catch up? I'm not saying we have to see each other every week or every month. It's fine. We have our lives to live. But why are we making it so difficult? Because at the end of the day, those problems will always be there. And I feel like people like to say, oh, well, we're all adulting. Of course, we all have bills to pay. If I'm your friend and you really value our time and you respect our friendship, I feel like you would make time for that. The fact that there's always an excuse as to why we cannot see each other and why it's 6 months down the road is because I am not a priority. The friendship is not a priority and it's time to move on. We do not align. We once were, but now we're in different spaces and we just have to move to friendships that would allow us to connect more. And I also feel like adult friendship are hard to make because people has not healed their past traumas. A lot of people have friendship traumas, whether they were bullied, whether they had bad friendship experiences and they haven't dealt with that. So that goes on to their adulthood. So now when you have someone that wants to be your friend, you don't know how to accept that because you haven't worked through those traumas. I can be the best friend to you, but it won't work because you don't know how to accept me. So one of the things we really have to kind of take time for and really work on is healing those traumas because you are just blocking everyone from being around you. And I can only imagine how lonely it must be to criticize everyone in your head, to always look for the worst case scenario when it comes to a friendship because you don't trust no one and because of your traumas. So I would say really definitely work on your traumas if you have those. Another reason why adult friendship are so hard is because we are not aligned with one another. We don't have to agree on everything, that's normal, but at some point we have to agree on some things. If you and I are friends and we disagree about everything, then something is wrong. That's not a friendship. And if we cannot come to common grounds on certain things, then that friendship will not be maintained. That friendship will just fade away because it's like everything I say is wrong and everything you say is wrong. So it makes no sense to have communication. Makes no sense to hang with you because it would always lead to an argument. One of the biggest factors to me is also to align yourself with people that has kind of the same views and values. It doesn't have to be on every little single thing, but some things just have to be aligned. Now that I'm thinking about it, I think a reason why friendships are not being maintained is because we do not speak up. A lot of people are afraid to say how they're feeling in a friendship. If someone hurt them, then most likely won't say anything because that's their friend, and a lot of people do not like confrontation. So you just keep everything bottled up inside and it just keep growing and growing. And you're going to want to spend less time around that person because they're making you feel like you're less than. So that friendship is also gonna just dissolve. Whereas if you was to just be honest and be like, listen, you did this and I feel like it's not right. If that friend really values your relationship or whatever, they will want to see things from both point of view and apologize if needed. But if not, then just let them go and you move on. But a lot of things can be resolved within a friendship if we would just open up and speak up and just voice our opinion. And if a friendship not working out, just let it go. I think a lot of us really like to just hold on to that comfort, that stability that we think we have. But if something is not working out, just let it go. Don't try to hold on to a friendship just because you want to call this person your friend so badly, because you like being around this person, but everything else is just red flags. Just like in a relationship, when you're with someone, you're like, I spent 10 years with this person. It's a lot of it out of my time and I'm not letting go because of so many years has passed by. You also have that in friendship. That you see people just holding on to a meaningless friendship because we've known each other since kindergarten and we grew up each other. We were from the same town, but the friendship has no value whatsoever. It is so meaningless. You guys hardly speak about anything other than the basic stuff, but you're still holding on because of time. When it's time to let go of friendship, just let it go. If it's not serving you, just let it go and go find your people. Find people that actually values you and just make genuine connection with people, because now you are in your adulthood holding on to a friendship that was from 15 years ago and you're only holding on to it because you guys went to school together. That's crazy. Just let it go and set yourself free and allow yourself to connect with new people. And I also feel like we just be in our head so much when it comes to friendship. We like to think for the other person, especially if we are communicating through text. We oftentimes like to create these scenarios in our head as to what the person means, what they're trying to say. And then it's like, instead of just reaching out and be like, hey, you said this and that, what exactly did you mean by that? No, we create this whole story, this whole narrative. So just communicate with one another and stop making up crazy stories in your head, because that is a reason why friendship does not work. We are adults at this point. We are able to communicate with each other, and we should just use the skills that we have and just communicate. And making friends is hard, y'all. I'm not saying that making friends is something so easy. You just gotta follow these steps and life is great. The older you get, probably the harder it gets. It is hard, especially now. It's like there's so much to look out for. People are out here being sneaky. People are out here just preying on you. People are wicked. So it's just a lot of things to look out for. I'm just saying, when you find that friend, someone you call your friend, just make sure that you guys are on the same page. Make sure that you guys value each other's time, each other's friendship. And maintaining that friendship will come naturally. Once you make time for one another and you respect the friendship, everything else will just flow. And personally, I struggle with making friends because I find a lot of people likes to stay on the surface level, and I'm not that type of person. If I consider you as a friend, or if I see that you have friendship potentials, I want to get to know you better. I want to spend time with you. I want to do fun stuff, And if you want to stay on the surface level, I just have to move on. I cannot stay there because that's not me. Someone else probably don't mind being on a surface level with you, but when it comes to me, I really want that sisterhood type of friendship. That is what I'm looking for. And if I cannot get that from you, I just move on to the next. And that is very hard to find, y'all. Sisterhood is hard to find. I don't think it's impossible. I just think it is something that is very hard to find because of the day and age that we're living in. But I'm going to keep looking. And if I find it, I find it. If I don't, well, at least I tried. But I really admire people that have that sisterhood, that friendship. That is something very important for me. And if I feel like I cannot get that from you, then I just move on. So this is the end of this video, y'all. This topic was very interesting. Like I said, I think a lot of us can relate to this. But I want to hear you guys' opinion. Definitely drop it down in the section below. The main question I had was, why are adult friendships so hard to make, and why is it even harder to maintain? Want to hear you guys' thoughts on this. But for now, that is it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Give it a thumbs up if you did, and I'll see you in the next one.